Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Witless Weebs podcast. My name is Luden, and I'm joined by my wonderful co host.
Yo, what's good? My name's Silver.
Another bit of scuff for the start. It's great. It's great. And
I
I'm
thought it'd
not
be fun.
re recording that because I think that was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Um, to the second episode of our podcast. I don't know
number
what we will
two.
title the episode, but we
Something about manga, maybe.
something about manga, probably yes.
Maybe,
And
maybe.
and we have an actual topic for today. Um, but
What's the topic about, Mr. Luden?
um, first, real quick, I just want to to address the mic issues I fixed because
Oh,
like
oh,
um for for the people who watched the first episode, you probably realized that my mic sounded pretty bad and
yeah.
my audio was not that great. I fixed the issue, and turns out I'm just either stupid or OBS is stupid. Yeah, you can pick either really. But I fixed it, and now my audio should sound pretty crisp. I hope. Yeah. So
I don't know
you
if the mic picked it up, but I was in pain right now. I accidentally stabbed myself with a pocket knife. Not deep. I just poked myself. Is a
um
better way to say it.
okay.
But yeah, if the mic picked that up, I'm fine. I just
I don't
accidentally poked myself.
I don't know if the mic picked it up.
Oh, okay. That that's good then, I guess. That's
Okay.
good then.
Um. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to say my mic hopefully sounds better, and you don't have to sit through my awful sounds for 2 hours. So
Yeah, Luden worked really hard on fixing his mic. I worked hard on clipping. Well, I
yeah.
worked okay on clipping. I tried.
I mean,
Uh, Clips are up. Check out our clips. There's only one right now, but I'll get another one up later today. I'll try and get one up every day-ish from this going forth. So yeah, check that out.
yeah.
We
We
also
will.
have a TikTok now.
Yeah, we will do clips to like further the algorithm to like
Yeah.
spread our reach a bit. Yes, and I think we still try to get into the groove of things, but we are getting there. Give
Yeah,
us
we're getting there.
give us a bit of time. We are getting there. Yeah. As
We're getting
long
something.
yeah, for the meantime, just enjoy the scuff because
Yeah.
scuff scuffed things are funny
Yeah.
sometimes.
Look at Luden's life.
Yes, my life is completely scuffed and it is quite funny.
I'm sorry. That was uncalled for.
I don't mind.
That was uncalled for. I
Um,
okay. Uh,
yeah, but we have a topic. I'm sorry. We
yeah, we
have a
do have a
topic.
topic.
Do you want to tell the people what our topic is for today?
Do I have to? I guess I can tell them. It's not like they care or anything. No.
Zunder the
Today our
Kluger.
topic. Today our topic will be. I blinked for a second. Our topic is going to be. We both All right. I'm
I'm
gonna make
sorry.
this. I'm gonna make this good for a TikTok clip. It'll work out. Let me restart the intro. I recommended Luden a manga, and he recommended me a manga, and we both forced each other to read manga. Well, I didn't technically recommend a manga; it was a manhwa or a webtoon. I'm not sure, but you get the gist.
I read it on
Uh,
Webtoon, so it's probably a Webtoon, but I don't know.
yeah, but there's also manhwa on webtoon, so I
Yeah.
don't know. Uh, that's besides the point. Do you want to say what you made me read first, or I say what you made me read first?
I can say what I made you read if you want
Okay,
to.
what'd you make me read? I
I
don't remember honestly.
I made you read Witchet Atelier, or or how
Is
the
that how you say the
Germans
name?
yes,
Okay.
or how the people call in Germany call it Atelier of Witchet, and I have no idea why that is. Um, yeah,
I can't tell you.
you can look that up. It's really funny, and I have no idea. Yeah, I made you read Witchet because I think the manga is really, really good. It's
Yeah, maybe I think it is too. We'll find out.
like I just want to quickly say a bit about my own opinion regarding the manga. I try to keep it short because it's
Shoot.
about your opinions later.
It's
Um,
about both of ours, I think.
yeah, but like, Witchhead is one of those manga I just got into semi recently. With recently, I mean
Yeah.
somewhat last year. Um,
I mean,
because
the anime got announced.
yeah,
You see
true.
that?
Yeah,
That's gonna be
and
cool.
I'm really fucking hyped. We will probably talk about that a bit later. Because I have a lot of things to say about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll get
but
into it more as after I give my thoughts. We can discuss our thoughts on what the anime, our expectations for it.
yeah,
I don't have as many as you do, likely, but
yeah. Um, like I got into the manga mainly because of the art, because the art is really
I can
damn
see that.
gorgeous. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's just really, really incredible. And then I got hooked because the manga is actually phenomenal. Like I really, really, really love the characters. The story is really, really good. The themes and stuff. Like you have everything in the manga. Shirahama is
Hmm.
a genius, I think. Like
That's mangaka.
yeah, yeah. She
Okay.
made like such a great fantasy and such an organic fantasy world. Um and again I love the characters. Then it's just also like really cool representation wise because like she put you probably haven't come across some of them yet, but like
I don't think so. Well,
uh
maybe
yeah,
one. Depends what you mean.
yes and yeah, like
Yes, all right.
you have a lot of like actually explicitly gay characters in it. You have
Okay. Haven't encountered that yet,
you have disabled
to my knowledge.
you have disabled characters in it and stuff. Like it's really good. And like I read a Q&A recently from Shirahama. It's just a few days ago actually. Where someone asked something like I don't remember what exactly it was, but something along those lines of like if the representation in the series is intentional by her. And she just
Mhm.
replied with the fact that you have to ask the question just means that we need more representation in manga. And like that's
Yeah,
so incredibly based. Like
it's a great quote.
yeah, Shirahama is just great. She also has a Twitter and regularly I'm sorry, I'm German. Uh,
You're good.
interacts with the fan base through
I'm
Twitter.
sorry, I'm American, unrelated. Just had to throw that out there.
Yeah, you should be sorry to be honest.
I know.
Like she regularly retweets art and stuff and like interacts with fans. It's really cool. Like you should give her a follow, even if you're not too into Witchhead. Like yeah.
She
But
doesn't post manga spoilers?
I don't think so. I haven't come
Then I'll
across
give
any
her
yet.
a follow.
Yeah, I only read the manga physical, so I'm like two
Mhm.
or three volumes behind.
Yeah.
Um, and I haven't come across spoilers yet. Just
Hmm.
like covers and stuff, and like maybe
Okay.
chapter cover page or stuff like that, but not actual spoilers. I think.
So just art,
Yeah,
mostly.
yeah,
That's what most mangakas post,
yeah.
unless
Also,
you're Fujimoto.
yeah, unless you're Fujimoto pretending to be his 8-year-old sister. Um,
Yeah, love
but
that guy.
we talked about that last episode. That man is
Yeah.
just insane. Um, yeah. And also, I think that's kind of besides the point, and I don't want to get super political, but she also is explicitly pro-Palestine.
That's great.
That's also a
Love
thing.
to see that.
Like, I don't know if she was the first mangaka to do it, but she was the first I saw that made like
Yeah,
a year ago, uh, not quite a year ago,
like
but like
6 months
si-
ish, probably.
it was a bit early actually. I think 8 months or so. Like it was last
Mm.
year still.
Okay.
Um, where she made a drawing with like the where a bunch of artists made the trends like I stand for Palestine like and made drawings of it, and she explicitly drew Coco, also I can't speak. I'm sorry.
You're good.
The protagonist of Witchet, um, and
Yeah,
with the hashtag and stuff. Like it's really cool. She is
that's
incredibly
cool.
based, as I said.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even not only a fan of her work, I'm also a fan of her person from what I know because she's
Yeah,
cool.
I'll definitely follow her after this.
Yeah,
I didn't know she had a Twitter.
but I'm sorry, I just
Yeah.
I
No,
got
you're fine.
sidetracked.
You're
Like
fine. All right, so I'll give a brief reintroduction for Witch Hack to make it easier to make the clip. So I was forced to read by Luden the first 5 chapters of Witch Hack. I was technically supposed to read 10. Life got busy, things happened. I read 4 technically, not 5. Sorry. But yeah, it's really unfortunate that the author's a great person because I thought it was really mid.
damn.
No, I actually loved it. I was joking. I
Okay.
just wanted to get a
Okay.
reaction from Luden.
Okay. I just thought because I think the intro is
Yeah,
incredibly strong. But sorry, I let you talk.
I wanted to get a reaction from Luden. I was
Yeah,
hoping for more than that,
you
but it's
certainly
fine.
got that.
Yeah. All right. So I took some notes for every chapter. I'll give a kind of chapter by chapter rundown of my thoughts, and Luden, feel free to interject whenever I give an opinion that you think
Mhm.
is interesting.
I just
So for the first,
I have the volume here, so I just skim
yeah.
through the volume while you talk about it.
Okay. All right. So for the first chapter, I didn't really write much. I just wrote really strong first chapter. The world seems really interesting, which it does,
Mhm.
especially from what I've read even a little bit further on. And the witch guy's hot.
Yeah, Quifri. I don't know how you actually pronounce his name. I think it's
I've been
Quifri.
pronouncing it Keefe because I think it's funny, but I don't know how you
I,
actually say his name.
I also don't know how you pronounce him. I in my head I just call him Quifri, but I don't know how you
Mhm.
say it. But like yes,
It's I
he's
think
hot.
Quifrey sounds right, but I
Yeah.
like Keefe. I think it's funny. It sounds cute.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's kind of all I wrote for the first chapter.
I mean,
Uh,
noticing that Quifri is hot is already quite a lot. He's
yeah,
he's
you have
actually my second favorite character in the series, and like
yeah.
in general, actually one of my all-time favorite characters as it stands right now. Like
I can see that. He definitely has a lot of intrigue from what I've read so far.
yeah, like he's not like in my top 5 favorite
Hmm.
characters or something, but like he
Not
and
every
Coco
character has to
really
be.
really jumped the ranks the last
Yeah,
few volumes I read of that manga. Yeah,
great. Okay,
but
I
sorry
guess
I
I'll get into
interrupted
my.
you again.
No, you're supposed to. It's a podcast. We both talk.
Yeah.
For chapter 2, I wrote down starting off the magic seems very creative. Reminds me a little bit of Full Metal Alchemist, with like
Hmm.
how they have to write down the things to make the magic. It's
Yeah.
very different still because of how like what the magic does and just the more intricate details to it.
Yeah.
This one seems a little bit more like they really focus on how the magic is made, I guess is the
Yes.
right phrasing for it, which I think is cool. I think it's the magic seems really pretty from like just the pages I've seen. The
Hmm.
magic seems pretty, it seems cool. And the rule that like you can't use magic on people essentially is interesting. I think that kind of surprised me because typically like that's so normal in most stories.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to end up happening either way, but I think it's an interesting rule to have in your world.
Yeah. That's what makes it so interesting. Like I think that's one of the greatest strengths. Sorry, I have problems with
Mhm.
th. Um, it's one of the greatest strengths of the series that like
Yeah,
you have this established rule of you can't manipulate people with magic, and also like the way the
except
magic.
for memory erasure. I remembered that.
Yeah, except for memory erasure, and that's also like just a precautionary thing basically,
Yeah,
just to keep the world stable.
yeah,
And like the way the magic system is established is so cool and interesting because it follows this really strict set of rules, and if you see a magic circle and know enough about the rules of the magic system and how it works,
mhm.
you can decipher basically everything. Like it's really cool. Like
Yeah,
it's not like Full Metal Alchemist where there's a bunch of gibberish basically. Like you
yeah.
have
Because
a
in Full Metal, they never really explain what
yeah
each like rune or whatever
yeah
means and like how they make it. It's just kind of like Roy
yeah
has it on his hands, he snaps
yeah. So and
and
like
doesn't need them.
and like with Witch Hat you get an explanation of how what does what, and like
Yeah.
even the later more complicated runes where you don't immediately understand, you can like decipher parts of it and stuff like that. Like for example, I can give that as a quick
Hmm.
non-spoilery example, because
Okay.
like the magic circle Coco draws in the first chapter that like
Yeah.
freezes her mom. I don't think that's a spoiler because it's literally chapter
No,
one.
it's the first
Yeah,
chapter.
yeah, like
There's also going to be like a little bit of spoilers for Witch Hat. Very
yeah,
little. I'm not going to get too much into spoilers, and I don't think Luden is either.
yeah,
But there's going to be some light stuff. Expect that.
yeah. I
You're
mean, we
warned.
talk about the first four chapters, so
Yeah.
expect spoilers for those chapters.
Yeah. If you don't want to hear that, you can skip ahead.
Yeah. Um, so like in the manga, we don't see the magic circle she draws that
Hmm.
freezes her mom. Like we don't see what she actually draws. It's kind of kept a
Yeah.
mystery. And in the trailer for the anime, we already see that circle, and like because they drew it in the anime,
Yeah.
and like people already start deciphering parts of that circle, and like could already trace back parts of it because the
Yeah.
magic system is just so good and so makes so much
That's
sense
really
that
cool.
from that one shot in the anime you can already decipher parts of it. I mean, like some parts we have no clue because we don't
Yeah.
know that magic yet, but like
Yeah. It's
there's
forbidden.
yeah, and like there's one set in the, I think it's in the bottom half of the
Hmm.
circle, where people basically decipher that it's probably like a time stopping spell or something similar to that,
Hmm.
because we see a similar spell way later in the series.
Okay.
um and like we could trace that back. Like it's really cool. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of room for theories if you really get into it. And like
Yeah. That's really cool.
Shirahama also tries to stay pretty consistent, because she also said in the Q&A I mentioned earlier, um, that she also like goes back and references her own work and stuff, so she can be sure to don't mess things up and stay consistent with her magic circles. So she goes back and like
Not like some other mangaka.
Gege Akutami.
I wanted to say I'm so glad you said it. I don't want to get flamed for that.
I don't know. I haven't said anything. Yeah.
Yeah, you just coughed. That's all. That's all that
Yeah,
happened there.
I just had a cough. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a really the magic system seems interesting, and it's really good to hear that she's consistent,
Mm-hmm.
or she, right?
Yeah, she.
She's consistent with the system and how it works. That's really cool to hear, and it makes me want to read more. Uh, the next note I have written for chapter 2 is, I wrote it as a joke. Is this guy just collecting orphan girls? Because like we meet all the girls that are like living in
Um
that school he has.
I don't think they're orphans. Like I
I
know,
yeah,
like I
I
know.
meant that as a joke, but it.
Yeah. But like um I she's in the English she's called Agot, I think.
Mhm.
Like in German she's called
Yeah, they're like
Agathe.
his students.
Yeah, like
Uh, his different students that he has there. I don't remember their names. I didn't
yeah.
write them down either.
But like the
Uh,
black haired girl.
yeah, the black haired girl,
I think
her roommate.
I know. Yeah, I know she and like Lisha, like
Mhm.
the one with the straight long hair.
Yeah.
She has blue hair, but you haven't seen her hair color yet. So,
Mhm.
um, with the
To me,
long,
there's just two white hairs, and then
yeah.
the main girl and
I mean,
uh
like
the black haired.
yeah, Lisha is the one with the long straight hair. I know
Mhm.
that those two definitely have parents, from what I've read.
Mhm.
With
I didn't mean that as in like
yeah, I know
I
you
just
made it as a
he
joke.
just kind of like adopted them into his
Yeah.
like
But like that's kind of the way
class thing,
the
magic school
magic school
thing
thing. Yeah.
works. Yeah,
And
they're his
like
apprentices.
later in the series you find out that Griffey is kind of a special case because he has like
Mhm.
just the atelier in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, they kind of mentioned that I think in chapter 3 where he's like, "Hey, don't you want to come live in I forgot the place what it's called. Uh
Yeah.
but don't you want to come live in this place with all the other witches? You can even bring your students." And he's like, "No, I don't want to." And she's the girl. We'll get into that later. It's
Yeah.
chapter 3. Uh, and then with that I wrote, what is he, Batman,
He
Magic Batman,
he is.
just as a joke. Uh, I wrote the art is very pretty because there
Hmm.
was that one, the first one with the water, and then when he like gets the rose out, I thought that was cool.
Hmm.
It wasn't a rose, but a plant.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just had that page open just when you said it.
yeah. Forbidden magic is magic that can't hurt you. Is magic that you're not allowed to hurt humans, and that's why it's forbidden magic, or
Hmm.
like just affect humans in general. It seems like.
Like I think
Uh,
like you can like if you hurt one on accident, like that's not a
yeah,
problem. But like actual
using it on them
yeah, using it on
essentially.
them and using it like in a direct weapon sense, like you can't
Yeah,
like cast a fireball on someone, for
yeah.
example. Like
And
that's
there was some
forbidden.
like magic wars, and that's why it's forbidden.
Yeah.
Uh, I expect they're going to go into the magic wars and like the lore of it eventually. I don't know how long that might take. That's just an expectation.
Yeah.
Uh, then I wrote Quifrey is the hot guy's name because I
Yeah.
didn't remember. I didn't don't know if they gave us his name before that, but I only wrote it down then. Uh, and then the black-haired girl probably has a tragic backstory. Okay, Aki. And yeah, that's my notes for chapter two.
I think
The
funny enough, Agot existed before Aki, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that. It's just
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was the
it's the
first initial thought I
stereotype.
had.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she has that vibe definitely, and
yeah, because
like
she's also like, uh, I in chapter three, she also like makes her go take the test, and that
yeah,
kind of reminds me of like when Aki tells Denji to quit the
yeah,
not defense force. I'm thinking of Kaiju number eight. What's it called again?
the public safety.
Public safety. Yeah. Uh, Aki's like, quit the public safety. You don't belong here. Essentially, get out. You're not serious about it. And she's like, you don't really know magic. You shouldn't be an apprentice. It's better if you just fail now and get out of here.
I mean,
And
Coco as well is a special case because
mhm.
she's like not supposed to be
Yeah, because
learning
I kind of
magic.
gathered that where it's like most people who are taught magic, or at least the other disciples, they've known about how like the magic system works kind of throughout
Yeah,
most of their life. They've had an idea of like they've been exposed to witches most of their life, it seems like, at least.
mm.
I don't
like
know to what extent, if they were raised by them or their parents were, I don't really know, but
like that's the thing. It's like the magic world itself is kind of kept a secret. Like
yeah.
the common folk knows there are witches, but
Hmm.
like they don't know how it works. And there, I think Coco mentions that in chapter one.
Yeah.
One, and
Coco in
there,
chapter one, she's like, only certain people can be
yeah,
witches. I know about witches. I met that one witch that gave me the book,
yeah,
but
and like that's the thing. Like that's the big thing about witch hat. Everyone can be a witch, but
yeah,
the
but the
witches
world
keep
doesn't know that.
yeah, but the witches keep that a secret to kinda establish and keep order so that chaos
Yeah,
doesn't
prevent
ensue.
more wars from happening
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah. So like
which is smart. It makes sense.
everyone can be a witch, but
Yeah,
it's a secret. So basically, every apprentice witch is more or less born into a witch family.
yeah,
It's like if you take Harry Potter for example, like every mage in Witchhead is a pure blood, and like there are like no like mudbloods or stuff like that. Like you
yeah,
only have like pure witches.
yeah.
So that's the
It
thing.
yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how they set that up. I feel like she's already definitely planning out a lot of stuff that she wants to introduce.
Yeah,
The guy Quifrey also mentioned like an evil magic wizard club. I don't know how to describe them.
yeah. That
Uh,
like that's
they
the
might be the one. It's something with their hat, I think,
yeah. I just
is the
know how
name of
they
the
are
group.
called in German, so
What?
I don't
Yeah,
know how they're
their
called in
name.
English, but like
I'm
the
pretty sure
evil
their name
witches.
there's like brimmed hat or something like that. I think.
Yeah,
I don't remember. But he mentions that with that one girl. Uh,
yeah, and like that's one of those like the wizard you saw in chapter one. That's
yeah,
one of them, and like that's the evil faction, and they
yeah,
just want to convince people to use like want to spread magic further
hmm
and just want people to use magic for
Hmm.
like bad things in the, or like they want, like they're under the assumption that like witches are evil, and
Yeah,
because they keep secrets, and everyone should use magic any way they want. That's
yeah,
basically their thing.
which can be interesting depending how she writes that.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I have good expectations for the future though. So,
Without
uh,
saying anything, you can definitely have high expectations for that, because
yeah.
it delivers. It delivers in that regard.
Chapter 3, the first note I wrote is magic is rare in big cities, but I meant the opposite. I meant it's more common in big cities and more
Yeah.
rare, like out in the countryside where Coco was living.
Hmm.
Which I makes sense. Uh, I wrote there's three elements to magic, and when they were describing like how the magic works, but then I also wrote, but then it all changed when the fire magic attacked.
When the Fire Nation attacked, only Coco, the
Uh,
master of the four elements, can save them. Yeah. I'm
and
sorry, I
then I
stole
wrote,
your bit.
no, you're good, you're good, you're good. And then I wrote, no, hot guy, don't leave, because Quifrey had to leave. Well, she before the girl made her take the test, he had to go out into the where he met the witch lady.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next note. Alaria, I think is how you say the witch lady's name. She's
Mm-hmm.
also hot.
Yeah. And
Uh,
like you can note that for the future. Pretty much every
yeah.
adult character is hot. Like if
Hmm.
if they're not like evil or something, or like bad people,
I
all the
mean,
good people are hot.
I'd understand if I don't remember exactly what the witch from chapter one looked like, the evil one, but they didn't seem too bad looking. They were covering themselves up mostly, I think,
Yeah.
but I'd give it a shot. Uh,
It's just like a loot box, you know? You don't
yeah.
know what you
Uh,
get.
Never know. Then I have surprised she left her shoe or lent her her shoe whenever
Mm-hmm.
she went to go take the test. I was surprised that she would give her the shoe when she asked for it, because Coco asked for the black haired girl's shoes because they can fly.
Yeah.
Uh, and then she actually gives them to her, and I was surprised by that at first, but I think uh we find out why she did later. Well, maybe not the actual reason why, but she gives a reason why, and it's basically like she's gonna fail anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, that's what I have for chapter 4. I mean, for chapter 3.
Yeah. I mean, like
Anything you want to
Aegon is a
interject
bit of
there?
a tsundere, so yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Uh, I see her having a similar, not except exactly relationship, but like storyline with Coco and her to like Aki and Denji, where like she doesn't like her at first because she doesn't think she belongs, but then they become really close.
Yeah.
That's what I see their story going. I could be wrong. I don't know. I'm 4 chapters in.
I mean, maybe like we don't know that yet, but
Mhm.
like Shirahama very explicitly implies at some parts that they might end up a couples at some point.
No, that could
Like
be cool too.
like
I didn't know much about the rep in it before, so
yeah.
I just assume in general that that won't
Yeah.
happen in most manga.
Like that's the
Uh,
thing with Witchet. Like since you
yeah,
actually have confirmed couples, gay couples, and
yeah,
Shirahama is also implying a lot, you can
yeah.
actually read into it. And like with Witchet, I'm like not at the point where I say, yeah, this definitely can't happen.
Is it
Um,
okay if I go on a quick tangent,
yeah, of
Luden?
course.
Okay, I don't know how quick it'll be, but I'm gonna try and make it quick. Nana, talentless Nana. I don't recommend it to anyone. I would not tell anyone to watch that. That show made me upset.
Okay.
How?
Yeah.
How are you gonna like do all that? The two Nanas might like each other. Ooh, they might end up together, and then they never do, or at least we never see them. Ugh, I
Mm,
was mad about that.
yeah. Like
Uh,
wait,
Technically
but
not a
like
spoiler
mean
because
you Nana or
yeah,
like talentless? I think talentless Nana is a different series. Like or
isn't it talentless Nana the Nana with the two Nanas?
I think it's different series. Yeah, talentless
Which
Nana is a
which
different
Nana?
series. You mean
Okay,
Nana, just Nana.
yes, not is it just Nana? I thought that
It's
one was
just
talentless
Nana
Nana.
in capital
Okay,
letters.
Just none of them. Either
Yeah.
way, my point is given. I don't think I was technically giving any spoilers.
Yeah,
Just
I think you can get from the first like 3 episodes that both nanas are gay as hell. Like, yeah, like
yeah, but that's my issue. That they are, but they never.
the series in general. Like, we can make a nana episode at one point
We can, we can, we
because
can.
like if people are interested to hear us talk about Nana, I have a lot of things to say about that series. The
I have
series
a lot of opinions too.
The series is, in my
Different to
opinion,
yours, probably, but
incredibly good. Like
it's a.
writing wise, it's really good.
That's the thing. It's a great show. It
Yeah,
just made me mad.
yeah, same, absolutely same. Like it's writing wise incredible, incredible, and it's in general in really good show. But boy, does it upset you.
Yeah,
Boy, it's Jesus.
I just I was just reminded of that yesterday because I was scrolling through TikTok for a couple minutes and I got someone using a sound from the show where
Mm,
Nana's imagining the other Nana. If they were ever like an item, who would be the pitcher and catcher, let's say.
yeah.
Uh, and
Like
then that reminded me of that, and I was just like, oh, they should
I,
have.
I just talked with someone about Nana today and got
Yeah,
upset again, and like yeah, yeah, Nana is a ride. It's a ride,
yeah.
and like,
I was going into it hoping for a Yuri with a happy ending. I did not get that.
yeah, it's you just get at one point you're just like, yeah, there has to be like some upside. It has to get like better now,
Yeah,
but it just gets worse. Like every time you
exactly.
think that has to be the low point of the series,
Yeah,
no, it
this
just gets
it's
worse.
things are gonna look up. Things are gonna get better.
Yeah,
Never.
no,
Not one.
things just get from like you have your high point at episode 5 or 6, I don't know, and from then on it's just straight up a crash. It just gets worse, and like in not like in tiny steps, it gets like
Yeah. No, it
significantly
like
worse.
you're going on a roller coaster just straight down.
Yeah, by the end of the anime, you're like, what the fuck? Where's my happy ending? Where's my
Yeah.
happy Yuri?
Technically it has a happy ending, but it's not a ending I was happy with.
Nah, nah,
If
nah,
you
nah,
get
nah.
what I mean.
Nah, I don't consider that a happy ending.
I don't consider it a happy ending either, but it's technically I feel like it was supposed to be somewhat uplifting the ending. I
Yeah,
just didn't get that.
and like the thing is, the manga is still not finished because like the
Mhm.
mangaka is on a 10-year hiatus at this point. So it yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the
I just
mangaka
wanted to
said
throw that out there.
yeah, I think the mangaka said they wanted to finish the series eventually, and said like in an interview 3 years ago or something that their health is better by now, but they can't say when they can come back. And I mean, they
Yeah.
should take their time, of course,
Yeah, I get it. Take your
but
time. Don't
it's
mess up your health for your manga. But at the
yeah,
same time, like,
it's upsetting. It's
I'm
really
mad.
upsetting. Yeah, back to Witchet.
Like, yeah.
Or like yeah,
So yeah, back to Witch Hat. For chapter 4, I didn't finish it all the way. I got most of the way through it, I think. I wrote brush bugs are really cute. The little bug that
Brushbug
yeah.
is the MVP of the series. He
Oh,
he's
really? It's gonna stick along?
he is sticking along. He's the mascot of the
Let's
series.
go. Let's go. Oh, really? Oh, I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah. Brushbug is great.
Is there merch?
Yeah,
There's going to be merch because the anime
there
is coming
is a
out at the very
Brushbug.
least.
I think
Okay. Okay.
Shirahama often also uses because she like doesn't stand in front of the camera often. Like
Yeah.
you can meet her at panels and stuff, but like she doesn't show her face often.
Yeah.
So in posts and stuff, she often uses Brushbug as her avatar.
Oh, cool. Like Gege with his cat and Fujimoto with his heart.
Yeah, yeah, a bit like that.
What? Which one's Oda's again? I don't remember it. I know he has one.
It's the fish. It's the fish.
Oh yeah, it's the fish. That fish doesn't have any significance in the story, to my knowledge. He just likes
Yeah,
the fish, I think.
yeah. I mean, the cat also doesn't have a significance in JJK, but
It'd actually make more sense if that was Fujimoto's, because there's a decent bit of cats in Chainsaw Man.
I mean, like not directly,
It-
except for
it's not like they
Mary.
have a story plot line, but they appear.
Yeah, yeah, true.
I don't know if I've ever seen a cat in JJK.
I don't think so either. I mean, there's a lot of things you don't see in JJK.
Yeah,
I mean, we can also
writing.
we can all mostly yes. We and we can also make a JJK episode at one point, but
Yeah,
because we
we
both
can.
also have a lot
I,
of things to say
I
about
don't think
that.
that I don't think that one would be well received though.
I think we
We definitely get a lot of attention from it. I just don't know if it's going to be
definitely,
well received.
yeah. Like I'm glad that our stance on the series is somewhat similar. I think
Yeah,
you dislike it more than I do. Like
I actually don't know if I do. I
I
don't
don't know
dislike
either.
it that much.
Like I also don't actively dislike it. I like JJK,
Yeah,
but like there are major issues with the series, and like I don't think it's like the second coming of Christ
yeah.
that
I was
everyone
gonna say I
pretends
dislike
it
it
is.
more. I like it more than MHA, but I'm honestly not sure if that's exactly true.
Whoa, that's a big statement coming
Yeah,
from like the biggest MHA hater I know.
but here's the thing. I don't really hate MHA all that much. I think it's funny to hate on it, but I don't actually hate it that much.
I'm just disappointed. I'm I'm just like
Yeah,
for
I get that.
context. For context, there was a time in my life where I considered MHA one of my favorite manga of all time.
Yeah, I think it was
No,
also like Gein's favorite for a long
yeah,
time.
yeah. Jin also really liked it. Shout out to Jin, by the way, if you're
Yeah,
listening.
I their name is Jin. I said Gein because they said they gave me
Isn't because
permission.
of Gin
That's
from
all.
Bleach? Isn't that the reason?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um. Yeah.
but
Uh,
yeah,
yeah. Like.
uh,
I used to like. There was a time in my life where I said like MHA is one of my favorite manga of all time. Nowadays, that's not the case. I'm mostly just disappointed for like the
I
last
never had that time in my
3
life.
years. Like I don't know. Like without saying too much, ever since the war arc, it's just been going down, and like major. Like we have some
Hmm.
highs in that series. I don't want to
Yeah,
sidetrack too much. Like there are
it's
some
fine.
highs in the series. There are some really good things about MJ, but
Hmm.
like yeah, nah,
Yeah, so
it really depends on how Horikoshi sticks the landing, because we are like in the final 3 or 4 chapters right now. So
yeah, something like that.
and I think the ending will probably be fine, but
From what
like
I've heard,
the
it sounds like it's gonna be decent.
yeah,
I
I
do
think
like the memes where Deku's just working as a convenience store worker.
they are
Not
extremely
gonna give
funny, to
reasons
be honest.
why, but it's funny.
It's really
If you know,
funny.
you know.
Yeah. It's really funny. But like I think the ending will be decent, but like the way that led up to this was just
Yeah,
a
I've heard
mess. Like
I've heard mostly negative opinions of just
like the
not necessarily that it's really bad, just that it's very like eh.
yeah, the last arc was like really like it had some really great highs and some really good
Hmm.
character conclusions, but also some pretty massive failures.
Yeah,
Um, it's like yeah, I think I can compare it a bit to like Naruto's last arc, which also had like some really high highs,
some great
but
highs
also
and some
some
very like pretty decent lows.
yeah, yeah. That's like I think I'm from MHA. I'm more disappointed than Naruto, because like
I understand that.
I think Naruto like caught it in like before the manga was like complete trash. Like Kishimoto caught it and like lifted it up and made like
Yeah,
the finale was really good. Everything after
the actual finale, the stuff right
yeah,
before the finale was not great,
yeah,
but the actual finale was good.
everything after
Before we get
Kaguya was
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah,
Kaguya not so much.
yeah.
um
But
like
before we get too off topic,
yeah,
tangent for too long, I think it's a good idea. I'm just going to propose this out there right now. We can do an episode ranking shonen anime because
yeah, we
it
can
seems like we
definitely
have a
do that.
lot of opinions that our audience might want to hear.
Yeah,
They
and I
might not
think
want to either.
yeah, that's the thing. I think we have like quite a bit of controversial opinions. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing. I try to not like be some glazer and say like that's the best shit ever and stuff like that. Except
I love glazing and I
yeah,
love hating.
yeah,
I'm
like
two sides of a coin.
yeah. I most of the time I try to give reason for the things I say.
Hmm.
And like for a lot of things, I have a lot of things to say. Like Naruto, for example, I really like the series. I think it's really, really good. But I also have some major issues with it.
Yeah,
like and like, but again, it's not like that I hate any like the series or like I'm saying if you like Naruto, you're stupid or stuff like that.
I am
Uh,
saying that with
um,
MHA, not Naruto. Naruto's fine.
like I'm not saying if you like Naruto, you're stupid or stuff like that. But
He is saying that. Be offended.
but like I have some issues with the series, but I also can like elaborate on what my reasons are. So I think once we get to an episode where we talk about certain series,
Yeah,
um, I think it's good for you guys because you can basically make your own opinion from what I say. Like I give reason for the things I say, and you can say, "Yeah, I disagree with you, dipshit," or you say, "Oh, that's actually a good point." I don't say I hate Naruto because I hate Naruto. Like I hate Naruto because X, for example. Like yeah,
yeah.
okay, sorry,
No,
tangent over.
I do have reason. Yeah, tangent almost over. I'm gonna throw mine in real quick.
Yeah,
I
of
do have
course,
reasons. I do have reasons for all my take, but I like to be inflammatory because I think it's fun.
that's
So like,
true.
I don't really hate MHA, but I'll hate on it because it's fun.
I had so many non-discussions with Silver about MHA. Like I try
Yeah,
to reason and say like I like that or dislike that because of that, and Silver is just like, yeah, no, fuck you, Deku stinks.
yeah. It's
like
mostly Deku that I hate on, not the series as a whole. Too. I just think it's funny.
it is funny, but it's also really frustrating.
I understand that. But yeah, back to I'll finish up with Witch Hat since
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
gave most of my thoughts on what I've read. I thought it was a seems like a really good manga with really good art and story seems interesting. They've set up like some mysteries that will hopefully be expand ex, expanded upon, expounded. I'm not sure which one's the right word later.
I'm working
And
on
yeah,
it.
I look forward to that. I'm pretty sure expounded's a word, but I'm not sure if it's expanded upon or expounded upon. I don't know. I could be
I
making
think
up a
it's
word.
expanded upon, but I'm
It probably
again
is.
I'm the German one here, so I don't know.
Uh, it probably is. I don't know. Does it matter? Maybe. Not really. I don't know.
Probably not.
Ludi, you want to get into your uh manhwa webtoon?
Yes,
I think it is Korean. That's why I say manhwa, but I'm not
I
sure.
I have no idea actually because I am only things I knew about that series before I read it is some funny reaction images you used to
Yeah, I
to
use reaction
post.
images from it sometimes.
Yeah.
Although we
Um
haven't said what it is yet, so
yeah. I've read what's the title again? Return of the Blossoming Blade.
all right, Ludi, you have to do that again. This is gonna be for TikTok, so
Okay, like what do I say?
I'm
This
joking. I mean, I was mostly joking, but if you do want to do it again, that's fine. If not, that's also fine.
yeah, I read Return of the Blossoming Blade. I don't know what else to say. I read the
All right, now
first
how much did you
five
read?
chapters. Yeah,
Okay.
the first five chapters. I have quite a few notes about it. Like I don't think I have as many notes as you do, but I
Hmm.
have some things I definitely want to talk about. Wait, let's get to the notes for chapter one. Yeah, I really like the opening sequence. I
Hmm.
think like the way I like stories that kind of throw you in.
Yeah,
And
I
like
thought it was really cool too.
yeah, like the opening sequence where the guy, main
It is a
character
manhwa.
guy. Yeah.
I looked it up. It's a manhwa.
Okay.
Good to know.
The main character guy whose name I can't pronounce for like the death of me. It's
I'm not good with names.
Chong Myongs. I can't say it. I'm sorry.
Can you spell it?
No, I'm no.
Uh, Let me look it up.
It,
I'll tell you how I pronounce it. I don't know if it'll be right, but I'll tell you how I pronounce it. Protagonist. I'm not good with names, so I
his
forget
name
it.
is ridiculous.
I say Xiang Myong. I don't
I,
know if that's
I
right.
I can't speak Chinese or Korean, so I don't know.
It's Korean. Well, I don't know if the name's Korean, but the story's Korean.
he says he's from
Xiang Myong.
China.
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Xiang Myong. So,
Okay, Shang Myung. I tried to get it
or
right. I probably
just
offended some Asian
you
people, but
can just call him Che. I
I
think that's fine.
I might just call him protagonist. I don't know. Yeah,
That's fine, I
of
guess.
course.
That works.
Like the opening sequence was really strong in my opinion.
Hmm.
Like with the demon king whatever, and like
Yeah.
him almost dying there and stuff like that. That was really good, and I really
Yeah.
liked that. And it
I mean,
kind
not
of
almost dying. He did die.
yeah. Like but like he's almost dying already at the
Oh yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. Like I really liked that. That opening sequence.
Hmm.
Now I get to the bit that immediately bothered me. I
Really?
really don't like reincarnation stories and like isekai. Like this is not technically an isekai because
It's not an isekai since he's in the same world.
yeah, he gets reincarnated into the same world, but I still don't like reincarnation stuff. Like I'm really
For me, it
loath.
depends. Like I like a lot of them, but I also don't like a lot of them. So like
Yeah,
ReZero, I love. Great story. It's an isekai, an actual isekai. Uh Return of a Blossoming Blade is a reincarnation story, not an
yeah,
isekai.
yeah.
Because he does get reincarnated to the same world just a couple hundred years later.
I think it's
Uh
exactly 100 if I read
okay,
that correctly.
it might be. I don't remember. It's been a while. Uh, a villain to kill, which is the other option I gave you, was also a reincarnation thing.
Oh damn.
Not isekai, another reincarnation.
Yeah,
Uh,
but like
but his is like immediate.
I'm
Uh,
usually not that big of a fan of that. Like it didn't take away from my enjoyment I had
yeah.
for the first 5 chapters, but like
Mhm.
it's still like it just is like a little sting in my side. I'm like
Yeah.
I don't like that. Like I
That's fair.
try to keep an open mind and like
Mhm.
I'm still like kind of biased towards those stories,
Yeah,
but I still
that's
try
fair.
to
Everyone
enjoy
has
it.
their preferences.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Wish I would have
from
known
what
that
I've
before I
seen,
recommended it, but
I think from what I've seen at least, it's executing the trope or like the genre or like whatever you call it relatively
yeah.
well. Like it's not like a lot of the times the issues I have with those stories, like those issues aren't there. So I'm
I
yeah.
mean, it it's a power fantasy, but I'd say it's similar to like One Punch Man in the way it's a power fantasy because it's not really
Yeah,
about his strength directly.
yeah.
There's there Same thing with One Punch Man. There's a lot of moments where like he'll just save the day because he is stronger, but a lot of it's going to be about him training up the younger people,
Mm-hmm.
which you'll eventually get into if you do end
Yeah,
up continuing. It's up
yeah,
to you if
and
you
like
do though.
it got into that when I like
Yeah,
the fourth
where you
and
left
fifth
off.
chapter
Yeah,
get into that. Yeah, and we'll talk about that um
yeah.
once we get there.
All right.
Wait a
That
second.
all for the first chapter?
No, not yet. I still
Okay.
have a few notes. Wait, let me open my phone. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the art is good. Like I
Yeah.
really like the art, but like that's with a lot of webtoons, manhwa,
Yeah,
and
most
so on.
webtoons and manhwa have like great art.
Yeah, and
And
like
I personally like the colored style. They all have
yeah,
like a lot of them have a very similar style, but I think it looks great
hmm
usually.
like I
Uh
I like the style.
yeah.
I like that it's often a bit simplified, but still like not like
Yeah, it takes a lot
yeah,
of inspirations from anime with like the chibi
yeah,
humor, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, and I kind of like that. Um, what just rubbed me a bit the wrong way, but that's
Hmm.
probably mostly an issue because it's a webtoon. Is
Yeah.
like the way you have a lot of empty space everywhere, like
Yeah, that
while
like in between
yeah,
panels,
in
there's
between
just a
panels
lot.
and stuff, you
Yeah.
have like it feels like half of the chapter is just blank white, and
Yeah, that's a lot of like webtoons you'll find, especially in their like first chapters.
yeah,
I think
and
it gets better as you go. But there's definitely some pages are yeah, technically pages because it's all like one long page
yeah,
in the way the Webtoon app works. There's going to be a lot of moments where it's just like a lot of empty white space, but that's just like in between panels,
yeah, and like I
typically.
I don't like that you often like have just a, like two white panels right below each other, then
Yeah,
like one text box, then another two white panels, and then you have an image. Like
yeah, that's fair.
it's yeah. From I have to give a bit of context. I'm a sucker for good art and especially good paneling. Like
Hmm.
if you give me a manga and the manga is well paneled or like has really good paneling, I just swoon over it. Like I
Yeah,
love enjoying good paneling, and that just like it's just yeah. I know why I don't read webtoons often,
yeah.
because like it's not giving me that much.
I'd
Like
say
it's
for a Webtoon where I've like seen a lot of really good paneling is Tower of God. I think no, not Tower of God. God of High School.
yeah,
They
yeah,
both have God in their name, so I confuse them.
yeah.
But God of High School has like some pretty good paneling, like later on in the series. It takes a while to get to there, but it like the art gets really good and the paneling gets pretty good
Hmm.
in it. The actual story is okay.
Yeah, I've only seen the anime of
Oh,
God of High School, and I've
that's
heard that that
nothing
one
similar.
budgeted a lot. Like,
Like I'd say the story is relatively good compared to like Dragon Ball. It's like on a relative scale, I'd say.
hmm,
Uh, and even in terms of like just overall vibe, I think it's like a kind of what you'd imagine is like a more modern Dragon Ball,
I mean they're
especially since
both
like
inspired by
yeah,
Sun
they're both
Wukong,
Sun
so
Wukong.
yeah,
Uh, and I feel like if you like Dragon Ball, you'll probably like Tower of God. There's a lot of
and God of High
differences too.
School.
I'm not saying God of High School. There's a lot of differences among them too.
Yeah,
Uh,
obviously because yeah,
but that's why I say it's like more of a modernization, like a
hmm,
modern
yeah,
way someone might try and tell a similar story to Dragon Ball.
yeah. Like and like I really enjoyed the anime for what it's worth. Like it's like
Yeah,
of course it's just story. The story is just completely out of the window. You can ignore that.
the
But the
story's
but the
better.
fights were lit.
Yeah, oh,
Like
yeah.
the fights were
Choreography in the anime was
fantastic.
amazing.
Yeah, that shit was dope. And
Yeah,
a- and to get back to what the things I like, I really dig good choreography in my anime.
yeah.
Like in literally 9 out of 10 cases, I will
Hmm.
prefer a fight that's worse animated in big quotation marks than like for example a Demon Slayer fight.
I
Um,
was just gonna say that.
yeah, like I enjoy fights that are like on a smaller scale in terms of
Yeah,
their animation budget, but have great choreography, but not
like
like
Dragon Ball versus Dragon Ball Z, essentially.
mm, I mean
Because
Dragon Ball Z also has like really good choreography. Like
at
of
times, there's also
of
a lot
course
of
there
times where
is
it's
a
just
lot
like,
of yeah. Obviously there's a lot of pew pew, but like you have
yeah,
for example, this is anime specific.
yeah.
You
I'm just
have
making a comparison
yeah,
between the
but
two.
like for if you have like the manga fight is a bit different, but if you
Yeah.
like take Goku versus Perfect Cell for example, that
Hmm.
fight has some dope choreography as well as like I think it's Super Saiyan 2 Goku
You say
versus
Saiyajin.
yes, I'm sorry.
Saying it the right way, loser.
I that's just how I grew up with it, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Like if you have like SSJ2 Goku versus Kid Buu, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. Also an anime exclusive. Damn,
Yeah.
that's such good choreography. Like you have, yeah, and then you have like Demon Slayer fights, which are obviously really great animated,
Mhm.
but I don't see what the hell is going on. Like of course they are cool flashes and explosions
Yeah.
and stuff, but I want to see what's happening. Like if I can go into a small tangent again, if you
You're
take like
fine.
season 2 is a very good example. If you have like the in the middle of the season, the slight
Mhm.
spoilers for Demon Slayer by the way.
No
Um
one cares. People
Nobody
do
cares.
care,
Everybody has seen
but
Demon
it
Slayer.
doesn't matter.
But like
Anyone
still
who cares.
very light spoilers for Demon Slayer. If you have like in season 2 the fight Tengen versus Gyutaro, the first phase, like before everything
Yeah.
just explodes, like the final fight, there's one phase before that where he fights before he gets out of commission and comes back later. Like the first stage of that fight was
Yeah.
really dope because it was very well animated, but there was dope
Hmm.
choreography. You have like this that move where he just swings his blade and then extends it by taking that one part of the tip of the blade and just throw it.
Yeah.
There's cool stuff going on, and I dig
Yeah.
that. Then you have the final fight, which everybody points to and says that's the perfect fight and like the best fight of the season, where just
Yeah.
everything is exploding, and I'm like, I can't see shit. Like I don't see what's happening, and I don't enjoy that. Like of course it's
Yeah.
pretty animated, but I enjoyed the first stage of that fight a lot more because there was cool stuff happening and I
Hmm.
could see that cool stuff. Like, yeah,
You know what show was underrated that had pretty good choreography?
which one?
Undead Unluck. The anime had pretty good choreography. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
haven't seen it yet, but like I
uh,
want to get into
it's
it.
it's on Hulu, which is why most people haven't seen it.
Isn't it
Uh,
also on Disney Plus?
Maybe I don't know.
I think it is because I think I saw
Mhm.
it when I watched Heavenly Delusion. Um,
Well, either way, a lot of people don't watch anime on either of those platforms.
uh,
So it
I do.
okay. Well, Luden, you're not normal.
Yeah, true.
That's not an insult. That's just an observation.
Yeah,
Uh,
granted, I don't have a Disney Plus account. I just
yeah.
leech off my brothers. So,
Hmm.
Mr. Disney, you haven't heard a thing. But I just leech off my brother's Disney account.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it had really good choreography, especially like some just battle strategy too. It's really
Mm-hmm.
good. Like
Mm.
I'd
And
say
that's
on
the
like
thing I dig. I like strategy and like cool choreography
yeah.
more than like really flashy animation. And I don't like that this has become the standard a lot of the times.
Hmm.
And like another like good example how you can do
Yeah.
flashy animation well is if you look at a lot of fights in season 2 of JJK, for example. Like it
Yeah.
has
It's flashy,
very
but it's also
yeah
like
it
choreographed.
yeah, it's very flashy, but there were rare times where I didn't see what's going on. The
Yeah.
one fight where I had a bit issue was here like Yuji versus Choso. Because
Same. Everyone loved
sometimes
that fight. I didn't like it.
I liked the fight because like it was cool, but
No, it
sometimes
was better than most anime fights, but like
yeah,
for what I was normally getting from the JJK anime,
I like
wasn't it
the
for me.
I like the manga version better of that fight
Yeah.
actually. Like the problem with that fight is that a lot of the good choreography was overshadowed by the lighting because you couldn't see shit.
There
But
was
then
also just like a lot of cuts that I
yeah,
felt like were unnecessary. I would have
yeah,
preferred if like it was one longer
yeah,
motion.
and then you have like for a good example, Sukuna versus Jogo, which was flashy as hell. Like that was like to say it in such terms, Demon Slayer levels of
Yeah.
flashy, but it still had a very clear visual line. And at every
Mhm.
point of the fight, you could see what is happening. Like you could see the cool moves Sukuna threw. Like there were
Yeah.
some punches and stuff where I thought like, damn, that was cool. And like there was visual clarity. And
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, okay.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with you. I haven't seen much of the Demon Slayer anime since season one because I read the manga and I don't really have that much interest in seeing the story again.
Yeah, understandable.
There's one fight I'm looking forward to that's coming up pretty soon that I'm going to rewatch. But that's probably it. Let me know
Can
when
you
it
tell me
happens, Luden.
which one of the protagonists is fighting that fight so I can like without spoiling to people?
It's Zenitsu's fight.
Oh, okay, yeah. That
Yeah.
one will be exciting. Exciting, yeah.
Yeah, that one I'm looking forward to. Inosuke's fight shouldn't be bad, but I don't really care that much for his character.
Yeah,
Just
same.
because his initial meeting, I wasn't a fan of him because of some of the stuff he did.
Yeah,
And
I'm in generally not the biggest fan of Inosuke either.
they did redeem him at the same time, but it's also like I don't really care for his characterization either
Yeah.
way. So
I don't care for most of Demon Slayer's characters to be honest.
I
But
like
like
Zenitsu because I think he's fun and
I
somewhat relatable.
I fucking
Uh,
hate Zenitsu so
I
much.
know you do. I know you do.
There are not
Uh,
many characters I hate more than Zenitsu.
that's so sad that you have such bad taste. But I'm really looking forward to his fight. I think it
Yeah.
should be
That
exciting,
fight should be
especially
cool.
like it's going to be a great character moment for him.
Hmm.
Uh, and yeah, that's really all I care about left from Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I, I'm thinking if I will
Hmm.
care about anything that's coming up in Demon Slayer. I think like the fight against the upper two moon, like the strongest of the is it upper one? I don't know
Yeah,
if the upper one is Muzan or if it's the other dude.
I think there is an
I
upper one.
I think I mean the upper one. I forgot his name.
Yeah.
Um, that
Oh
fight
yeah,
will be
he was
cool.
actually he was a surprisingly well written character for Demon
That
Slayer. I
that's
might
true.
rewatch that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
think his
from
fight will be great. Like, um, I think his fight will be really cool.
yeah.
But like aside from that, I don't really care much about this upcoming stuff. Especially,
Yeah.
I'm really dreading the finale because damn,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
But we can talk about
yeah
that in another
we can
episode.
talk about that once we talk about stuff or like
All
what
right.
I think if we get have an episode where we talk about shonen manga, we
Yeah.
will talk about
I
Demon
think
Slayer.
we might do like a video ranking shonen something, maybe
Yeah,
protagonists, maybe just the stories in general. We'll
yeah,
see.
we'll see. We get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Back to Return of the Blossoming
Yeah.
Blade.
Did you at
um,
least enjoy its humor in the first chapter or
mm,
two?
I think the first chapter didn't have that much. I actually
Y-
I have that
Yeah.
written. I have that
I don't
written
re-
down.
I don't
Like
remember where it ends off.
yeah,
So I'm not sure.
I out of the top of my head, I read it like 3 days ago. I can't
Yeah.
remember the exact ending point. I think it's when he just wakes up and realizes he's a beggar and like
Okay. Yeah.
shakes that other dude and like am
Yeah.
I? What time is it?
Fun fact, we saw him again recently in the story.
Oh, that's funny.
Caught me off guard. It
I
wasn't really something significant. It was just supposed to be like a funny callback
yeah,
because he
it's
knows someone significant essentially.
I mean,
Uh,
it's he said like he will repay him once they meet again. So
yeah.
yeah, like I noted that for chapter two specifically. I just go into chapter
Mhm.
two now. Chapter two started to get funny. like
Yeah, I
um
really love the humor in it.
like once we get to chapter four, I have some specific bits written down which I
Hmm.
really liked. But like from chapter two on, I noticed that there were some things I really liked, like
Yeah.
that were really funny. For example, that was chapter two. I remember that just now.
Yeah.
There was one bit where he was like, "Yeah, I have to go search for that sect now," and then he steps off angrily, and then he immediately comes back. Where is that sect? Which way? like, and the other dude is just like completely done with him.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love him because he's like so confident, but also competent. Not I'm not trying to say confident. I'm trying to say competent.
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 Yeah, but
Yeah.
like he's
He knows what he's
competent, but
doing.
also confident. He's both, to be
Yeah.
honest. But
But
he's
he's also
also
just
like
like
stupid. Like
kind of dumb sometimes.
yeah, he's kind of stupid sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I really like that we get more insight into his character because I think like the first chapter was like a lot of just like base things, and like I didn't
Hmm.
feel like I learned much about the main character
Yeah,
as a character. I think chapter 2 gave a lot more insight on that.
yeah.
And I also really like the a bit of the lore drops about a martial art in the series, and like
Hmm.
I like that, like the power fantasy aspect, that he's just like, I like that other than other isekai, for example,
Yeah.
um who just get born and are super strong, he's just
Hmm.
really strong because he can apply his prior knowledge, and like
Yeah, a lot
he
of it is just like stuff he knows that
yeah,
other people don't remember. He's also talented, like there's
yeah,
definitely that, and you'll
and
see that more as you go along. But a
yeah,
lot of it's just like he works really hard and
and also he's
like
like,
he knows stuff.
and like he's also not godly OP immediately.
Yeah,
He's just stronger than the average because he has knowledge that the average person
yeah,
doesn't have. Um, and like I like that. Like I like that it's a power fantasy, but not like completely over the top. Like
yeah. And
it's
like
still on
even
a,
now, there was a fight recently in the manga where he did like struggle a lot
yeah,
to beat someone because they were someone who also had a lot of experience. Not as much as him, but they had also been like training in their body for a long time, which is something that like they introduce in the story. Is like he knows all this stuff, but there's some stuff he can't do. I think they introduced is that he can't do just because his body isn't physically
yeah.
able yet.
He said that in chapter 2. Like
Yeah,
he said that his training and his chi or ki or
yeah,
whatever,
chi
his
or
chi still has to like form, and is like at a low
mhm.
level because he's a child. So
Yeah,
he has to train to get that up, and like he is restricted by the body he's in.
yeah.
Yeah. What I didn't like, in quotes, was that it felt a bit repetitive. Like, to
I
the
can see
first,
that.
like, you have like, once he gets reincarnated, he says like 20, 30 times, it feels, that he has to get to that sect, and what that sect doesn't exist, that can't be. Like, he says that so much
Yeah,
that it kind of annoyed me in the
that's
second
fair.
chapter a bit. But on a positive note, that's the last last negative thing I have to say about
That's good to
the
hear.
the entire reading experience.
Yeah.
Like, I the first 1 2 chapters felt a bit rough, and I have to
Hmm.
get into the groove, and like
Yeah,
stuff like the spacing and like the paneling still bothered me a bit, but like I don't mention that
yeah.
again because like obviously I mentioned that.
It's just a consistent thing that you'll
Yeah,
have for a good while, not for the
yeah.
whole thing, but for a
And like that's
decent
not,
while.
I think that's also mostly an issue that's on me. Like I don't
Yeah,
think
I get that.
I think that's just
I think
because
it's more of an issue with the nature of webtoons and
yeah.
how the app works. It's just how you have to scroll. I think it's like a fair complaint. I think a lot of people would probably agree with you.
And like that's
It doesn't bother me too much, but I understand it.
yeah, but like that's just the medium. Just like I
Yeah,
don't like webtoons as much as I like manga. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned that in episode 1 of our podcast, but like
I don't
um
think we brought up manhwa really in the first episode.
but like yeah, but the thing I have with my manga is I read like
Yeah, you read physical.
90% physical. Like
Yeah,
I
I think you brought that up with
yeah,
One Piece because that's the one that you do
yeah,
read, or
yeah,
JJK you read digitally too
yeah.
now, right?
I read the stuff I can get spoiled. I
Yeah,
read weekly digitally, like One Piece, JJK, Chainsaw Man, and stuff like that.
yeah,
I read that weekly, but I read like the major stuff I read physically, and like
yeah.
so because I like that, just enjoy that more. It's not that I
Yeah.
can't read digitally. I can
Hmm.
obviously, otherwise I wouldn't read some series weekly. Um, but like I just enjoy the physical medium
Yeah,
more. So a webtoon where the main medium is like webtoon.
that's fair.
And the whole thing is like paneled for that medium. It's just a bit
Yeah, I get that.
yeah, but like that's just the medium. It's not a fault of the series
Yeah,
mainly.
you can
It's
buy them physically.
yeah,
I don't know if this one released physically
I don't know.
or not,
I mean,
but
I've read a bit
there
of
are a
Solo
lot that you
Leveling
can buy.
physically.
Yeah,
I
Solo
have
leveling's fine.
I have like 5 or 6
Yeah.
solo leveling volumes here.
Solo leveling's very like fine. I enjoy it. I like it, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's like I think solo leveling is one of those series if you just don't care about the story and just want to have like cool fights and like
Yeah.
if you just want to have a power fantasy,
Yeah, it's
basically,
fun.
like it's fun. It's a fun
Yeah.
read. Like I haven't finished it yet because there are
Yeah. And I
many
don't
things
think it tries to do that much more than that either, which
yeah
is something
yeah,
I
which is
appreciate.
fine. Like
Yeah,
yeah, I
like if you're
appreciate
if for me, if you're gonna do that, then do it. If you're gonna like do that, but then try and add like some really good moments that are like really impactful, it's just not gonna work out.
yeah. Like solo leveling feels like it know what it tries to do and just
Yeah.
goes through with it. Like
Obviously it still has a story and like things it tries to do, but
yeah,
it's not like
obviously.
it it,
But like
it knows what it's doing
yeah, but
and
like
it does it well.
the main focus of the series is that Sanjin Woo is a badass and he wants to do cool stuff. And that's the focus and
Kind of.
you get that. So
Yeah.
like you get what you ask for basically.
Yeah. That is the draw point, and you do get that. So
Yeah.
if you like that, if that draw point interests you, you'd like it. If not, then you probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Um to chapter 3. Um
All right.
one positive thing immediately
Mm-hmm.
it felt way faster paced already.
Yeah.
Like it's not like extremely repetitive like the second chapter because like
Second.
I while I did get some new information about the second chapter, a lot of it was just the same bit repeating.
Yeah.
Chapter 3 just progressed the story actually and
Yeah.
like it was well paced. I liked it. Um
That's good.
and I already have a bit. I don't have much about chapter 3. It
Uh-huh.
just was cool that the story progressed the way it did, and
Yeah.
like he got into the school and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, but I I wrote down the bit I found really funny because like that the master at the sword school
Mhm.
like was like he was asking to get to join the school and in his
Yeah.
head he went through this whole thing where he said like yeah I have my story planned out and what I'm gonna say to him and I will say it like that so he has to take me in like he can't
Yeah.
refuse me and then the dude is like you want to join yeah sure like he doesn't even ask questions he's like yeah
Yeah,
you
I
can
think I
join
remember that bit.
like it was like
At Mount Hua, right?
yeah
I
yeah
don't know how you that's the thing I have a hard time pronouncing. At least in my head. I think it's Mount Hua or Mount Hui. I don't know how to say it.
I don't know either.
Hua.
Hua.
It's H-A-U, right?
Yeah, HAU.
Okay.
Um, and like,
And
and
if
like
you ask me, that's the main character of the story.
the master dude.
No, the
The
sect.
the sect. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was just really funny because like, he explicitly said as well that he doesn't take apprentices, and
Yeah.
then main character guy goes through like 10 different conversations he could have with him and like how he has to take him in and then
Yeah.
he's like immediately yeah sure I take you in you've come that far so whatever
Yeah,
I
because you had to climb up the mountain, right?
yeah he had to climb the mountain and the master guy was just like yeah you're here and you climbed the mountain so you sure seem like you have some endurance
Yeah.
so just join us and
Yeah, why not?
like the dude at the gate who welcomed him was like what we don't take apprentices and he's like whatever I
Yeah,
really
and you kind
enjoyed
of learn why he's just like so willing to accept him.
yeah
I mean, it's something you can infer. I don't think they say it, but you can infer why he probably just took him in.
I mean he's like he just seemed resilient like I think
Yeah.
that's like and like he seemed to have like drive all of the other people there don't have so probably
Yeah.
that was what like yeah yeah
It's also probably the logic I was trying to give is also just like they kind of need more people.
hmm
They're a sect,
yeah
martial arts sect, and it's better if they get new students.
yeah of course Mm. Yeah.
But yeah, any fun bits that you thought were funny aside from that, or
I enjoyed. I think that was chapter 3.
Mhm.
At that
Yeah,
point, my memory is a bit like it just all lumps together because I read
yeah,
the chapter 3, 4, and 5 before the podcast.
yeah,
So I don't know which chapters which, but like when they showed him around like the school grounds more or less,
yeah,
and he was like just upset that like everything is different and like they sold everything valuable and stuff like that.
yeah.
And he goes into this whole bit with that one like flower they had that was like really important.
The
And
plum blossom.
yeah, and like that 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 it was really important, and they were like, yeah, we sold it. We needed money, so we just sold it. And he's like, what?
Yeah,
You did what? And also with like that one golden temple or stuff that's just gone, and he's like, what? There was a
yeah,
building. And like he asks the guy, was there ever a building? And he's like, I don't know, maybe. It seems like it. Yeah.
yeah.
But
It's really funny.
like,
That's why I like it.
like this, as I said, from chapter 2
Yeah.
onwards, it just gets really funny. Like, yeah, it's yeah. Um, I, one bit I have noted for chapter 4
Hmm.
specifically, I just go farther. Like, um,
Yeah.
when he like meets all the other students and stuff, and like then he, he talks to one of them like after like he just like what do I call it? He beat them into submission basically. That
That works.
yeah, yeah.
That's pretty accurate to what he does.
That's pretty much what he did. Like he beat the
Yeah.
other students into submission, um, and after that he just questions that leader guy of the students. I don't remember his name. Um,
I'm not good with names either,
yeah,
especially with manual.
I mean
Like
the brown haired.
Japanese names I've got somewhat accustomed to by now. I'm still not great with a lot of the names in anime. Uh, but with manhwa, I'm still really getting used to it.
Yeah, with manga I have no idea. I just
Yeah.
struggle a lot. I can't. Yeah, yeah. Everything that's just Japanese just goes straight through my head in terms of Asian names.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because like Japanese names are most of the time still relatively simple, while like Chinese or Korean names are just
It's
ridiculous
well, I
sometimes.
think it's not that they're not complicated. I think it's just they're complicated for us because we're not
Yeah, we're
accustomed to
not
it yet.
used to it. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
we don't consume enough of the media, I think.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, glad you're enjoying it so far.
yeah,
Anything you just want to throw in at chapter 4 or 5? I think we've
yeah.
gone on a
Ch-
decent bit.
yeah,
So it's,
chapter 4 I have some notes. Here I have like some specific bits written
yeah.
down. Like when he that was the point I wanted to make. Like when he beat
Mhm.
that one guy into submission, it was like, tell me everything about this place and how it
Yeah.
came the way it did. And the guy was like, have you ever heard of the master of the blossoming blade? And he's like, sure. Then you have a big pause, and then just his thinking bubble, that's me. Like like it's like it gave the vibes of like Star Wars
Yeah.
with the Obi-Wan introduction scene where
Yeah.
Luke just asks, do you know Obi-Wan? And he's like, of course I know him, he's me. Like it gave
Yeah.
exactly those vibes. It was really funny. That was the one bit where I really laughed out loud when I read that because I thought it was really really funny.
Yeah.
um
It has great humor.
yeah. And the next bit, which came immediately after, was the guy was explaining him that through because he defeated the Demon King in his past
Yeah.
life, basically the sect got this. And we are back. I'm sorry. I just
We
paused.
were Luden was invaded by
I
aliens.
I was invaded by demons, and they
Yeah.
stopped the recording.
Yeah.
Sorry, it just
Luden's
cut.
part of the Mount Sect.
Yeah. It cut like yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Um, back to what I was saying. Like when the demons raided like his the sect and
The
like
sec.
destroyed everything, and like he then gets a pause to think about it, and he was like, the sect was destroyed because of me, and I was like expecting him to have like a serious moment where he just
Yeah.
reflects or stuff, and he was like, seriously, screw my life, and I was like, same, bro, same, and like. The fact that it's like it's word for word, I'm not even making this up. He literally said, seriously, screw my life.
Yeah.
And I was like, same, bro. I feel you. Yeah. I
He does this really hard journey to save the, I don't remember if it was the world or
yeah.
the
It was
country or just
yeah. It was
martial arts.
yeah.
Uh,
Whatever.
a- and then he finds out later on that that destroyed his second. He's like,
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, fuck my life, bro.
nothing's gonna work out for me. Nothing works out.
Yeah. And he's like
This is my life.
he's so accepted. He's just like, yeah, fuck me.
Yeah.
I really like that. Um, and then also in chapter 4, this was the last note I have, also about a bit, where you have like this bit of a flashback about the ancient sword technique. Like one of his
Hmm.
like elders is like talking
Yeah.
to him and says like, yeah, what do you think about the sword technique? And he's like, that's trash. We should just throw that away. And like
Yeah.
the guy was like, yeah, but it's part of our history. We can't just delete it. And he's like, yeah, yeah, let's just burn the books. And he was like, yeah, okay, that works. Like that in itself
Yeah.
was funny as shit, especially because he was like, yeah, let's just burn the books.
Yeah. He's very nonchalant with a
Yeah,
lot of things, and it's
yeah.
very funny.
Like that bit was funny in itself, but then he gets to the training grounds, and then he asks, "Yeah, what do they train here?" And like they explain it to him, and they was like, "Hey, what is this shit?" And then the guy says like, "Yeah, and once we graduated and get to the master's technique, we learn this ancient sword technique." And he's like, "What?" Didn't I tell to burn the books about this sword technique? What happened here? And he's like completely confused and he's like, what? Why? He's just completely flabbergasted and just like, what? Why would you learn that trash as your master technique? What is this? Um, it was just really funny. Like that
Yeah.
was, and especially I like that those bits didn't came like immediately right after, but you have had like a bit of breathing time for the bit to come back. So
Yeah.
it really hit and was like really funny because it was like half a
Yeah.
chapter before that with the flashback scene, and like
Yeah. The comedic timing is really well
yeah,
done for a lot of the humor in it.
yeah, like from chapter 3 especially, chapter 3, chapter 4, and chapter 5 had some really great comedic timing. Like that was,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. It reminded me a bit in terms of comedic timing of early Mashal.
Mashal.
Yeah,
Let's go. I knew you were gonna say that
yeah, like early
because I
Mashal
thought
had,
the same thing too.
yeah, early Mashal had some similar comedic timing. I think
Yeah.
later Mashal has different comedy. It's still like it has the
Yeah.
same vibe, but like the timing and stuff is a bit different. And like you get
Yeah.
less frequent jokes because the series gets more
Yeah.
serious. Um, but like the early Mashal has a very similar vibe to that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, and like I really like the core story to get into that.
Hmm.
Like I like from chapter 5, I don't have notes for chapter 5, but overall
Yeah.
like that's when the story like really kicks off, where he
Yeah.
gets into like training the other guys and wants to make the sect great again and stuff
Yeah.
like that. um
Make Mount Hua sect great again
main
in a red
Hua,
hat.
main Mount Hua sect great again, yes, exactly. And I really enjoyed that. Like I like the idea where the story is going. Like
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think that yeah, yeah,
You really just got like the introduction with the
Yeah,
first like 4 or 5 chapters.
I mean, same
Uh,
with you and Widget.
yeah, same.
But like
I
that
will
was
say
the
for like
intention, I think.
yeah, that's kind of what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
I will say for anyone listening, if you really just want to like get a general premise of where the story goes, and for you as well, Ludin,
Hmm.
a lot of like the main point of his character and just like his development, a lot of it is just jokes and a lot of humor, but there is a decent bit of like good stuff in there.
Yeah, there is
And it's just like
characterization. Like it's not all, everything like dumb
yeah,
humor. It's there is a lot of like substance to it, and I like it.
yeah,
Like you
and
have like joke after joke after joke after
yeah,
bit, but you have characterization in between that.
yeah.
That's
And I'll say like kind of like the main thing with his character is that like in his previous life he was super talented, like a great fighter,
yeah,
and he never really took anything seriously though because of how talented he was. Like
yeah.
he would still train regularly, but he never like took his responsibilities as a leader
Yeah,
seriously.
and that was
And
what he
this is
said in chapter two.
yeah,
Like he pointed it out from chapter two onwards that he never took his life quite seriously. So in now that he gets a second chance, tries to like redeem himself,
yeah,
like redeem himself in that sense, and tries to take it serious to get more out of his life and more out of his role as a
yeah.
talented dude.
Yeah, so that's a lot of like what the premise of his character and the story goes on to be is him teaching others and learning from teaching others, not necessarily fighting from them because he's usually better than almost everyone that he teaches
I
by
just
a
remember
large
the
margin.
I just remember the funny bit. Go on. I remember it. I keep it in mind because I
Uh,
remember the funny bit from chapter two I want to talk about. But go on. Sorry.
but he does like genuinely progress as a character while like still falling into like the same stuff he used to do at
Yeah.
times for comedy usually, but it also
Mhm.
like makes sense in his character because like he's not someone who's just going to change right away, become like this 100% responsible person, and that wouldn't be good for him either. He shouldn't be like
Also, that
the other
wouldn't be
people in his
realistic. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
like he's not going to just have a complete 180 in his life.
yeah,
He changes for the better while keeping a lot of the good parts of who he used to be and keeping some of the fun that might be kind of bad parts too. And I think he's a genuinely pretty well written MC. He's not like the best, but he's good.
yeah. I
And the
enjoyed
comedy's
him from
funny.
what I saw.
So just to throw that out there in case anyone's interested in just like where the story goes from there.
Yeah. Um. And like I just remembered the bit from I think that was chapter like the end of chapter two where he
Yeah.
reflects on his past life and was like, maybe I should have took the training more seriously. Maybe I should have listened to my elders. Maybe I shouldn't go into the house and stole booze from my elders. And he was like, wait, no, I still would do that. Like that was the moment where the comedic aspect really kicked in for me.
Yeah, that's
Like
kind of what I mean with stuff like that. He does keep some stuff. Is like
yeah,
he'll keep doing that throughout the story.
because it was so funny because he was like
Yeah,
really lamenting all his faults and he was like maybe I shouldn't get like drunk on stolen booze and he was like yeah,
yeah,
no, I would still do
yeah.
that.
That's fine. I'll keep doing that.
I keep doing that. Like I
That's
don't
pretty
see an issue
fun.
with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'd recommend it. Luden seems like you enjoyed it a good bit too,
Yeah,
which I'm
yeah,
happy with.
I liked it. Like
Uh,
again, the first two chapters felt a bit sluggish to me, but
yeah,
after that, I really enjoyed it.
I think that could also just be because you're not a big fan of the reincarnation in
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, and like
But I think
that's
it
why I said
works
it
well with
right.
why
Yeah,
they did it.
yeah, and like that's why I said that right at the beginning of my like review of it
Mhm.
because like I wanted to get that out of the way that I have a
Yeah,
negative bias and those are the negative things I have to say. But like mostly I have like a positive experience. Like it's really good.
yeah,
It's I liked it.
that's good.
And maybe I just thought about that. Maybe we can do a part in the future where we read more, like where we just go like
Yeah,
more chapters. Like
I might read it on my own,
Yeah.
So maybe someday, if we do both read more of it, we can just come back and say, "Hey,
Yep.
we thought this back then. This is what we think now."
Yeah. Maybe keep an eye out for that. It won't
Yeah,
definitely won't be the next episode or episode after that or
yeah.
episode after that, but maybe in the
We're also
future
planning
we'll
on
come
having
back.
guests eventually.
Yeah, true. Um,
We know some people.
I don't know. Have we said that in the first episode?
I think
Like,
we mentioned that we are going to try and have guests on, but in case we didn't,
we
I
want to
think we
have
did.
guests.
But in case we didn't, we plan on having guests eventually.
Yeah. Um,
I know some people. You know some people.
yeah. We both
We've
know the
mentioned
same
people
people
before.
at times, so that helps.
Yeah, we both know a lot of the same people. You
Yeah.
know some of them better than I, but
Yeah.
uh,
I
who
think
knows? Maybe we'll get Barack Obama. That's a
maybe
maybe.
we get Michelle Obama. Who knows? Maybe we get
Yeah,
Donald Trump. Nobody
we could.
knows.
We technically could.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean we. There's a chance that there's always a chance of something.
And
If
like,
I say that if you like this video, there's a chance that you'll get $1 million at your doorstep, I'm technically not lying because there is a chance.
there is a chance,
It
yes.
just doesn't have any correlation, but there's a chance.
And I mean, like there is a chance that we get Donald Trump on this podcast. Doesn't mean
There
that
is.
we actually want to have him on this podcast.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I think it'd be fun. I don't like him, but I think it'd be fun.
To be honest, it would make for a funny discussion. It
Yeah.
would be really funny, I think. But like,
If he wasn't running for president, he'd be a really funny guy.
yeah, if he hadn't
I mean,
so
he has
much
other
money and
problems too.
influence, he would be incredibly
Yeah.
funny. Like Donald Trump inherently is really funny. It's just
Yeah.
really tragic.
Did you know he used to be a pro wrestler?
Yeah.
He not pro wrestler, but like he was
he
a
was
wrestler
like, wrestler, yeah.
on a
I
show
know
or
that.
something.
Yeah. I've heard
It's
that.
crazy to me.
Like the thing is, Donald Trump inherently is a really funny guy. It's just
Yeah.
really tragic that
His existence is comedic.
yeah, but it's
but
just
also
tragic
terrible.
that he's the person he is. That he's been
Yeah.
he has been president, and there's a not so slim chance that he will be again. And if he won't be, then you get a rotting corpse. Like
Yeah.
the
Win-win,
choice
you know,
is-
as they
it's-
say.
It's a classic lose-lose situation.
But yeah, we don't
Anyway.
talk about politics on this podcast ever. We've never mentioned it before, especially not this episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a great episode. Luden, if you want to add any closing comments, I think we're almost at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, we should be.
Or maybe
yeah.
past it.
I don't know. Since I stopped the recording, I can't tell you. We are at the moment at 13 minutes and 11 seconds.
Well, then I guess we keep going. No, but
yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Luden, do you have any closing comments you'd like to give?
Leave a comment if you liked what you saw. I think this episode.
Or if you didn't like what you saw, just tell us you liked what you saw, because don't hurt
just
my
lie
feelings.
to us. Just lie to
Yeah,
us.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The algorithm likes that.
Cry.
Yeah.
Like
It,
no,
it won't
dislike,
tell us if
dislike,
you disliked it.
Dislike it will push the algorithm. It's good. Dislike.
No,
comment.
don't liking it pushes it more though, and for good reasons. So just like it.
Like it, dislike it if you disliked it.
We did get a dislike on the YouTube short.
Yeah.
Because it showed the likes to dislike ratio, and it was like 87% likes, 13% dislikes.
Damn.
So we did get at least one dislike on the YouTube shorts, because we only got 1 like. I mean 5 likes. We got 5 likes, so I'm assuming we got 1 dislike.
Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. I think this episode was a bit more structured than the last episode.
Yeah.
We still fall into yapping and tangents a lot, but I think that's the point.
A decent portion was tangents, but yeah, like Luden said, that's part of being a podcast, I think.
I think maybe this episode, that's from what I feel, I got a bit more talking space.
Yeah, I tried to let you yap a little extra.
Yeah, I yapped a lot today, but I hope you don't mind.
I didn't mind.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you're talking to me or the audience.
I talked to both.
I'll let you know I didn't mind. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I think we try to keep a balance, and if you if you say I hate that Luden guy, please talk less. I might try to talk less. I might just don't
He's
give
not
a
going
fuck.
to. I'm not going to let him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. The thing is, with
If
both of us,
if you
if you
don't,
just let
if
us yap, we will
yeah, we
forever.
will.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you don't like one of us, unfortunately, that's too bad.
Mm-hmm.
This is our podcast. If you're not going to like one of us, or even both of us, you're probably not going to enjoy the podcast. That's
I
just how
mean,
podcasts work.
if you dislike both of us, why should you watch? Like
Some
that's.
people hate watch. And hey, if you
Please
want to
hate
hate
watch.
watch,
Please
if you want to
hate
hate
watch.
watch,
Yeah.
I don't care. Just leave a like
If
and leave a
you're
positive comment.
if you're at this point because you hate watched, please keep doing that. Please, I
Yeah,
beg of you, please keep hate watching. I don't care if you dislike. If you watch 2 hours of our podcast just out of spite,
yeah,
I
that's
I
great for the
commend you.
algorithm.
I commend
Yeah,
you. Yeah. Okay.
and
Um.
let's say you don't enjoy us that much, but you still want to just support us. Just leave the podcast on the background a couple
Yeah.
times. It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah. Also, like leave like suggestions for maybe future topics.
Episodes,
Yeah.
guests, uh,
Like things we can improve on, because we, as I
yeah,
said at the beginning, we still try to figure things out, and I think we will gradually get better from episode to episode. At least that's what we strive towards, I think.
I'm
um
trying to come up with something that's not just visuals of the Discord thing, but I'm
yeah,
not really
same.
sure what I want to do with it.
For now
Uh,
you're stuck with this.
so leave comments
Yeah.
if you're not a fan of the Discord motif, or if you do like it, then we can keep it that way.
Yeah, maybe I will
But yeah,
just make a big picture of myself and you just see that, like, I don't know.
we'll
I,
see how it works out. But
yeah, I just stretch it over my whole desktop and you just
yeah,
see my face plastered over the. Yeah, I'm sorry. I
but
don't know what that was.
that good, Looney? Any other comments you want to throw in
No,
there?
no, I don't think.
Okay.
I think since I made the introduction, you can make
Yeah.
the ending.
Okay then. We have been the Witless Weebs. We truly hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did enjoy it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a like. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, we really appreciate the views. Have a nice day. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, and
What?
yeah, I don't have anything to add. Bye,
Okay, he
I
doesn't have
guess.
anything to add. Goodbye.
Bye bye. What Silver said. Yeah, bye bye.